You think you know Pinocchio? That cute little wooden puppet who just wants to be a real boy? Yeah, forget all of it. Seriously. Everything you know from that Disney movie is basically a lie. We're opening the original case file today, and trust me, this isn't a fairy tale, it's a straight-up true crime story. Okay, let's just lay out the evidence. On one side, you've got the Disney version, the sweet, innocent puppet who learns some gentle lessons about not telling lies. On the other side, the original Pinocchio from the 1883 novel. This kid is a violent, selfish, ungrateful little monster who brings nothing but misery to everyone he meets. This is not a story about a puppet trying to be good. It's about a menace who basically has to be beaten into becoming a decent person. And the story goes dark from page 1, because the very first thing this wooden puppet does after he can walk and talk is kill someone. All right, let's get into the case file. Our suspect is literally born from a block of wood. But from the second he's carved, he's not some innocent blank slate. Oh no, he is a problem. His creation is immediately followed by a crime spree. And look, these aren't just little kid pranks. Before he's even fully carved, he's laughing right in Geppetto's face. The moment his hands are done, he snatches the poor old man's wig. The second he gets feet, what does he do? He kicks Geppetto square in the nose. And then he's out the door. These are major red flags, showing a pattern of total disrespect and violence from his very first breath. So, his first trip out in public is pure chaos. He's running through town like a maniac, and when a cop finally grabs him, the crowd actually sides with Pinocchio. They all assume Geppetto must be some cruel dad. So what happens? The cops arrest Geppetto and haul him off to prison, while Pinocchio, the actual one causing all the trouble, gets to just run home. And this is where the case takes a really, really dark turn. Pinocchio gets home, but he's not alone. This is where we meet the first major victim in our investigation.
So the victim is this 100-year-old talking cricket who's been living in the house forever. He sees this out-of-control puppet and just tries to offer some basic, solid advice. You know, like, hey kid, maybe go to school, listen to your dad, don't be a total disaster. He literally warns him that boys who disobey their parents will never be happy.
Pinocchio does not like being told what to do. He basically tells the cricket to get lost, that he just wants to eat, drink, sleep, and play all day. The cricket calls him a puppet with a wooden head, and at those words, Pinocchio just snaps. He flies into a rage. And this just shows you who we're dealing with. He grabs a wooden mallet, hurls it with all his might, and smashes the cricket flat against the wall. The book says the poor cricket just had time for one last weak cree, 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 and then he was dead. Pinocchio murders his conscience for just telling him the truth. No regret, not even hesitation, cold-blooded. Okay, so let's keep going. After this, Pinocchio actually gets 5 gold coins to take home to Geppetto. Does he go home? Of course not. Instead, he immediately falls in with a couple of known criminals. He meets a fox and a cat who are running what is basically a 19th century crypto scam. They tell him about this magical field of wonders where if he buries his 5 gold coins, they'll magically grow into a tree that's loaded with thousands more overnight. It is the most obvious scam in history, and Pinocchio falls for it hook, line, and sinker, completely forgetting about his poor dad. Get this, as they're walking, a blackbird literally flies down and warns him. It says, "Do not listen to them, you'll be sorry." But before the bird can finish, the cat just leaps up, grabs it, and eats it whole. Right there, silences the witness. And Pinocchio? He sees this happen and just keeps walking with them. Pinocchio eventually manages to get away from the scammers for a bit, but they are not done with him. And this is where the con job escalates into some truly terrifying violence. So that night, Pinocchio gets ambushed by 2 assassins. Surprise, it's the fox and the cat in disguise. They chase him for miles through a pitch-black forest. He climbs the tree to escape, so they just set the tree on fire. He jumps down, they catch him, tie a noose around his neck, and hang him from a giant oak tree, leaving him to slowly suffocate. They actually tell him, "We'll be back tomorrow, and we hope you'll be polite enough to be dead when we get here." So Pinocchio is just hanging there, dying. But he gets rescued by this mysterious fairy with blue hair. Now, get the Disney version out of your head. This is not some sweet, sparkly godmother. She's more like a supernatural force of nature who believes in some very, very harsh, tough love. Okay, so I actually need to rewind a little bit because one of the most brutal things in the entire book happens before he even gets hanged. Right after he first runs away from home, he gets cold and hungry, so he goes back home, sits by the fire to warm his feet, and falls asleep. When he wakes up, his feet have been completely burned off. They've just turned to ash. I'm not kidding, it's straight up body horror. Right. Let's talk about that famous nose. So after the fairy rescues him from the hanging, she asks him where the gold coins are. And this is where the nose comes in, but it's not a cute little quirk. Think of it more like a supernatural lie detector test, a magical interrogation where every single lie has a direct physical consequence. He tells lie number 1, that he lost the coins. His nose gets longer. He tells lie number 2, that he swallowed them. His nose grows even more. By the third lie, his nose is so ridiculously long that he can't even turn his head without it banging into a wall. He is literally trapped and humiliated by his own lies. And that's where the first half of this twisted story leaves us. It's not a happy ending. It's not even close. It's a complete and total disaster. And the case file is far from closed. So after all this, Pinocchio runs away from the fairy too, and she apparently dies of a broken heart. Her tombstone literally says she died of grief because he abandoned her. Meanwhile, poor Geppetto has been searching for him for months, and now he's out on a tiny boat in the middle of the ocean, almost certainly about to die. Every single person who ever cared about Pinocchio is either dead or lost at sea because of him. The chapter ends with Pinocchio diving into the ocean to try and save his father from a storm. And that leaves us with the big question. After all the crime, all the selfishness, all the destruction, is this finally the moment he changes? Can a character this terrible actually become a hero? Or is he just jumping headfirst into an even bigger disaster?